Good morning. I'm backing Liz because she's got a positive, optimistic vision for growth in our economy. And if we can grow our economy, people are going to earn more money. And of course, it'll ultimately generate more income to fund public services like the health and education service. And Liz understands that the way you get the economy growing is to make sure the tax burden is as low as it can be, not in 5 years' time, but today, and that the regulatory burden on businesses are as low as they possibly can be. And if we pursue that vision, lower taxes, lower regulation, we will generate economic growth that will benefit the whole country. And it's that optimistic, energetic, pro-growth vision that has drawn me to support Liz's campaign.
And Chris, we've been talking about the NHS here in the programme this morning and what we could do to try and deal with those horrific waiting lists. What would you hope Liz would do to fix the NHS?
Well, I think one of the really interesting ideas I've seen her talking about today, in fact, I think in the Sunday Telegraph, is the idea of changing some of those rules, rather complicated pension rules, which are actually incentivising senior hospital doctors, consultants, as well as GPs to retire, to leave the NHS, often in their 50s, at a time when we need their services. I think there are innovative ideas like that to retain more people in the NHS that will, I think, help us get these backlogs down. I think the new health secretary, whoever that is going to need to look at this issue with a sense of national mission to make sure these waiting times are reduced. Obviously, COVID had a massive, devastating effect on the operations that were done outside of COVID. It's created a huge backlog. I think that's the case in many countries around the world. We now need to make sure we're doing 110% to get those backlogs reduced. It should be a real area of focus, and that idea about keeping experienced GPs and consultants by changing those pension rules is a really good idea.
Yeah, Chris, and we're going to move on after we finish speaking to you to talk about that poll that's out about Labour holding their biggest ever lead over the Conservatives for almost a decade. We've had a summer of the Tory leadership campaign. How are the party going to unite after this race? Because at times, I'm sure we'll agree, it's been a bit spiky between the different sides of the party. How are you going to unite after this is all over?
Well, I think you're right to say that it has been a very robust debate. There have at times been disagreements, and that's, I think, actually quite a healthy thing. If you're having a proper contest and you're debating ideas, you are going to have differences of opinion, and we've seen those. And I think what is important is that when this is over in about 2 weeks' time, the whole party, I think, will unite together behind whoever wins this contest and becomes not just leader, but also Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. I think we'll unite behind that person, pull together, and do what we're supposed to do, which is deliver for the people of the entire United Kingdom. And I think whatever people's views are in this contest, I think they will come together and do that in early September.
And just to go back to that, Labour having the biggest poll lead over the Conservatives in a decade, what do you think is the plan to deal with that? Because that surely must be concerning for the party.
Well, look, I'd make 2 points. Firstly, the public like political parties to be united. And obviously, because we're having a leadership contest in public, by definition, as you said a second ago, quite rightly, we are having our debates and sometimes disagreements in public, and the public can see that. And that perhaps is why the polls look as they do. But as soon as we have a leader elected and a Prime Minister in place, I know the party will unite around that person, and that issue will therefore, by definition, get sorted out in a couple of weeks' time. I think the second point, of course, is that what really matters is the general election, and what the people, the public, will judge us on in that election is our record of delivery. And I think Liz Truss, if she's elected, will deliver for the people of this country, and her low-tax, high-growth agenda is one of the important components of that. And come the next election, when people see that being delivered and see that working, I think that will be, give them a reason to re-elect a Conservative government. So I'm, for those two reasons, relatively sanguine about that poll.